Yes. So, hi everyone. A very good evening to all of you. I hope that all of you are doing good and welcome back to the series again of this analysis of this advanced Python and concepts. I hope I'm clearly audible to everyone and I hope that all of you are doing good and I hope that all of you are learning well also. And I welcome again Kaushik, Piyush, Chaitanya, Prachi, Meet, Ayush, Shitesh, then this man, then Dipanshu, Rafiq, Rajesh, Arushi, Vaishnavi, Asta, Ishanu, Mridusuman, then Vishal, Yash, Nitesh, Debojit. I hope all of you are doing good, guys, and all of you are doing well, right? Okay, so welcome back, and I hope that you are learning well also in every day in the classes, right? So you're going good, going well along all the classes. Is it all good? You are able to learn properly? That's perfect. Great. It's good to know this thing. So welcome back. And then this session, we are going to learn a new concept. We'll be talking about the concepts of classes and objects and OOPS concept that we'll be talking about. And this is what we are going to learn in this class, right? So welcome back and let's start learning and let's move to that. What we want to achieve in this today's class. Let's set the bar that what we are going to cover. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone, and I hope that all of you are able to concentrate here only, right? Can you just please confirm once my screen is visible? Is it visible to all? Okay, that's fine. Perfect. Okay, good. So great. I hope in the previous class we have covered few of the concepts with which you are good with that. In today's session, we are going to talk about few other things that we have to cover so that you can understand and you can perform all these things also, right? So today's session will be talking about classes and objects. Now, let me mention here what is Python. As you already know, Python is, we call it as OOPS also. What is OOPS? Object oriented It is object-oriented program. Now, why we say that we need any programming language which is object-oriented in nature? Because let's suppose if I write any program, okay, in that, for example, I write n is equal to 10. I'll say print n. Then I'll say b is equal to n divided by 2, n divided by 2, right? And then I'll say print b. Now, once this variable is declared or defined, can I use this variable anywhere in the program? First of all, can you tell me? Once I have defined this variable, can I use it anywhere? Yes. In order to use that, do I need any permission from anyone? No. It's all visible, right? All visible to everyone. Agree with that? I hope Arjali, Asta, Ayush, Rafiq, Rajesh, Rishitesh, Sarfraz, Shilpi, you are all able to listen to me, right? Very clearly. Okay. Ayush, right? Okay. Perfect. But we want something which is more secure. Like we want, like for example, here in this class, if you see in this Zoom class, who can come and join this class? Only those who are the part of those who have enrolled for this course. Agree with that? Only those students who are enrolled for this course, they might can join. That means we want it more secure. We do not want anybody else outside this organization to join this classroom because it should not be accessible to others. We need more security, right? And once this class is defined, is it defined separately for each student or is it defined as a one class and all can access it? I think it has defined as only one class and others can also access it, right? That means once the class is created, all the members of this class, like you are the members of this class, can have right to assess the data of this class only. That means all the things that we were doing it previously, yes, now we are going to put it in the concept of object-oriented programming, right? That means now we need something. which can only be used by which can only be used by the members of the class. That means it provides us the concept of classes, object, inheritance, inheritance, and polymorphism, right? Majorly. There are other few concepts also, but these are the major concepts that we are going to cover, right? For what purpose we are talking about object-oriented programming? We want something which is more secure, right? And which we can reuse it again. Okay? We can reuse it again and again. This is what we want. This is the major reason we, yes, this programming language that we got, and this is providing us all this concept of classes. So when I talk about a class, when I say a class is nothing, it is just a blueprint. Okay. That means once it is created, once it is created, it will remain there. And we are going to define variables, methods, or functions all inside the class. But now only the objects which are nothing just members of the class can use it. Okay. So how we need to define a class? We use it with the syntax class. We give the name, like it's a student class. So I'm giving here STU. This is the name. Name can be anything. There is no concern with that. I'm using here indentation because we want to write multiple statements inside this class, because we can have variable, we can have function. There are so many things that we can have, right? So for that, I'm using here indentation, which will help me in assigning multiple things in this class. Like I define a variable. Let's suppose variable is teacher name. Is it okay? Teacher name is Prabjot Singh. Make sense to you guys? So I've created a class having a variable this. Now, if I want to print teacher name, will I be able to print? The answer is no. It will give me error. The teacher name is not defined. Why? Because I've defined a teacher name only inside this class. Na? Only the students of Sunstone can have a access to the Zoom meeting, right? Not everyone can have, na? Obviously, na? Other organization, because this class has been created for only those students. Now, what we need to do? Yes, the members of the class, the, the members, the members of the class is only accessible through object. So we have to create an object. Let's suppose I'm creating an object ob1 equals to my class name is stu, and I'm going to use here is parenthesis. This is how we create an object. Okay. This is we create an object. This object, with the help of this object, now we can assess the data. Is it okay? With the help of this object, now we can assess the data. The variable name was teach underscore name. You see, I'm going to print that. And I hope now you see we are able to assess the data. Make sense to everyone now? So we have created a class. We have created that. Yes, Madhu, without creating, it's not possible to assess now. Like without creating, how you can assess it? Tell me. This is how you want to assess. But this is again a student ना, right? Student के लिए तो for student तो it is visible ना, right? But what is the point? The point is to create object of this class ना, and for that we have to create the object ना. Otherwise, without the object or class we cannot assess it ना. And if you want to assess it with class only, तो with class only तो it is there ना, that is visible, right? But without class, how you can assess that? So you have to create object, okay? So this is my class which I'm creating. Inside the class, I'm defining some variable, okay? Right? Then I can also define a function. Let's put, I define a function show. and that function will print me hello. Is it okay? Right, Rafiq? So this is a class. Class have some class variables, okay, and class have a method. Is it okay? Right. Now, these are the members of class. Who can access that? Only the object of this class. Okay, only the object of STU class will assess the members, right? But for that, we have to create an object. How we create an object? How we create an object? That is how. OB2, whatever the name that you want to give, your class name and parenthesis. This is how I create an object. Now with OB2, I can access the variable teach underscore name. With OB2, I can call the method, but there will be one catch. There will be one problem here. Now, what is the problem? This is a method. This method has how many arguments? Can you tell me? 0 arguments, right? But when I'm calling that method with the object, it is saying that you have given one positional parameter, but I have not given that, right? Now, what is that positional parameter? Now, consider an example. Let's suppose, Madhu, you are in my class. You joined today's class, right? And I am the part of this class. And let's suppose you are a student coming to the class, right? Now, do I know you, Madhu, right? Do I know you? No, I don't know you, right? If the very first time you will join the class, will I ask you, Madhu, do you actually belong to this classroom? Yes or no? Do you need that confirmation? I think yes, I need that, right? Similarly, you think about one more scenario. You are filling a form, government form, and you attach your certificates with that. But with that certificate, you give self-declaration also. Like you sign on that document and you self-declare that, yes, these document belongs to me. You confirm, right? Yes. Similar way, now this is a class and it has a method. This method can be called with object. That's fine. Obviously, no? Object has every right to call this method. But when object is calling this, by default, object is passing here one statement. Object is passing here self-declaration. Okay. Object, because once the object will call the show method, this class will confirm that why you are calling it. Then this show function, this object will say why I'm calling this because I belong to this class. The object will give confirmation in the form of self-declaration. And that's why we put here one parameter as self. Okay. Which is just giving a confirmation from the object side to the class that why I am assessing your method because I am the part of your class. I am self-declaring it because in Java programming language, we need not to do that. But in Python, yes, we have to do the self-declaration. Okay. In Java programming, we don't do any kind of self-declaration or we pass any keyword, but here we pass. Now, if I'll call this, now you will see that there will be no error. Let me run this again. Let me run this object again. Let me run this again. And let me run this again now. You see, now it's not a concern, right? Because when object is trying to call the show method, it has passed a self kind of keyword here in order to say that I am calling your method because I belong to your class. I am the object of your class. And this is the reason I am passing here self as a declaration to do this thing. This is the reason we need to pass this declaration whenever we call that. So by default, a class method and argument, which yes, by default, it has a class method, it has an argument as self. We have to pass that. Okay, Rafiq, right? So this is how it works. Okay, I hope it makes sense. So this is a class and this is the object we create. Is it okay? Is it fine with all of you? Is it understandable? Perfect. Now, similar way, in the concept of classes and object, we have a init method also. Now, when I say this method, this function, this is the object method, right? This object method can only be called through the object. You see, if I'll call this method directly here, na, will I be able to call? No, because I do not have that permission to call this method outside to the class. And I cannot call it without object. No, I cannot call this method without object because object belongs to the class, and with object only I can call this method outside to the class, right? Now, consider a scenario that you want to create a method for student to define their name and roll number, right? Now, there is one method that we call, there is one method that we create, and we do not want that method to, sir, once again, this, which one you are saying, Rafiq? I have not described in it now. I am still describing it, okay? Just wait for some time. I have not described this now yet. So in classes and object, we have a method init. Init, we call it as constructor, right? And constructor is also one special kind of function or method which call itself when object is created, okay? That means we need not to call the constructor through any object, right? So constructor are those methods, special methods, which calls automatically when a object is created. For example, you tell me if a student is coming in a university and taking admission, by default student will get, can you tell me, if a student is coming in the university to take any admission, by default the student will get roll number. Now, if is it common for everyone that everyone will get a roll number? Yes. Now consider a scenario that I want to create a method that will automatically get called whenever a student will take a roll number, whenever a student will take admission, and it will assign a roll number to the student. Okay. Let's suppose class, and I say I have another class STU3. In that, I'm creating a method underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay, this is the method that we use, right? Why I'm using this method? To define now object variables. Okay, this is a class variable, right? You want to check that stu1 dot underscore underscore dictionary underscore underscore, right? See, this is a student class which has a class variable. But if you ask me the object, right, ob2 dot underscore underscore dictionary underscore underscore, does object has any, this object has any variables or any object variables? No, this object has nothing, right? So consider that I have created a student class and this is the constructor I'm creating to initialize. Yes, Madhu, right? I want to initialize roll number and I want to initialize name of a student, right? By default, I want, right? So for this, I am defining two parameters. One is A, comma B, and this A will go to roll number and B will go to name. And obviously I have to pass this self argument very simply, right? Now, whenever I'm going to create an object, OB3 equals to STU3. Now, when I am going to create this object, this method will automatically get called. I need not to call that. You're getting my point? This method is a constructor which will automatically get called. And when it is called, it will ask for two parameters. See, if I call it without parameter, it will give error that two missing arguments are required. So I have to pass value. Let's suppose my first student I'm creating is Madhu, right? Roll number is 101 and name is Madhu. Is it okay? Now when this object will create it, this student class will create it. And with this object is created, this method will call. When this method will call, 101 will go to A, Madhu will go to B, and it will be assigned to these two variables. But now there is a difference. These two variables I want to define as class variable, so then these are class variables. But if I want to define it for an object, if I want to define it for an object, ob3 dot underscore underscore dictionary underscore underscore. Now see, they are not created for any object. See, they are the still class variables. Okay, what are these? These are still my class variables. You're getting my point? If I need to define it as object variable, I need to do this self dot and self dot. Now self may, what is the reference we are getting in self? In self, we will be getting the reference of OB3, the object which has been created. So it will be like OB3 dot role, OB3 dot norm name. So when I'm going to call this class, then what will happen? These two variables will be object variables. Okay, you want to check that? You see, these are my object variables. Can you see that now difference? Is it okay? These are object variables, right? I hope it is making sense to everyone. This self argument is pointing to that specific constructor in it. No, Rafiq. This self is pointing to this object now. Irrespective you are using init or irrespective you are using any method. In that method, whenever you are going to call that method with the object need to give that self declaration that why I'm calling this object, why I'm calling this method, because I am the part of your class. I have the right to call this method. This is the reason I am passing that self reference of object that I can call you. This self contains the reference of object, right? This self contains the reference of object. This is we require for every method, either constructor or either method is there. We have to do that. Is it okay? Right? So now with this, we have been able to create object variables, right? This is not a dictionary concept, Madhu, right? This is a syntax that I use to check the variables. Okay. If I want to check a class variable, right? If I want to check a class variables, okay. Attributes you can also say, like a student is there, na? So student has few attributes, right? Student name, student age, student gender, student roll number. So this is object. These are the object attributes, right? This is a variable that I've created. This is a class attribute, okay? This is a class attribute or class variable, right? This is what we need, right? Yes, Arushi, definitely I can explain. Yes, Arushi. For example, Arushi, the very first time you are coming in my class. Now you know this thing that why you have joined this class because you are the part of this Zoom meeting. Agree with that, Arushi? Right? Yes, Arushi. Are you there? Right? You have joined this class because you have every right to join this. But let's suppose if very first day I'm meeting all of you, do I know you, Arushi? Do I know that you are the part of this class? Maybe you have a link and you have joined it. Agree with that? How would I know that you are the part of this class? You will show me your ID card. Agree with that? Or you will show me a email which help me in understanding your confirmation. Now, when you give me confirmation letter or when you are giving me that email or when you are giving me ID card, what are you actually doing? You're nothing, just showing me a self-declaration, showing me your confirmation regarding to anything that you want to assess of this class, right? That means you are passing a self-statement, self-reference that why, sir, I have joined this class because I am the part of this class. I have every right to call this. So that is the reason whenever we create a class now, for any method, if I create it and that method need to be called through object, object need to pass self-reference to the class to state that why I am calling this method, because I am the object of your class. How it is passing this statement in the form of self declaration. Okay. So this self keyword is a reference from the object side, to the classroom, to the class to state that why I am calling this method, because I am the object of your class and I have every right to call this object. This is why we need to pass this self-reference from the object every time that we are creating it. Okay. I hope it is fine now. Arushi? Yeah, perfect. So this is how we create a class. This is how we create a object. And Madhu, this is we just use a syntax to check the attributes of a class. Okay. Is it okay? Right? Yes. Self argument is for object only. And this is how we create variables and we can call the objects and constructor also through this only, right? Now let's try to understand the major concepts that we have to understand with Python inheritance. Okay. Python inheritance. Yes, Madhu, please tell me what is the question? No, no, Rafiq, it is the way to check the attribute. You have this class, you want to check the attributes of student class, you will use this method underscore underscore dictionary. We use this method to check the attributes, okay, of class or object, both. You mean constructor are only for initializing? Yes, you can think about that, Madhu. Constructor are the special methods which automatically get called. And when you want to initialize something, Madhu, right? This is the reason I use constructor, because anytime if I'm creating an object and that is called, at the very first instant, I want to define something which is common for everyone, right? That is reason I am doing that. Okay. The main purpose is for initialization. Sir, in this self.role, the input can have same value or unique values. Okay. Kanaya, every time a different object will be called, there will be different values. Na? Let's suppose I will create another student who joins my university, right? That is OB4. That student will get different roll number, na? Like you are Kanaya. So obviously your values are different, na? Right, Kanaya? Is it okay? So now I have two objects. I have two students. For this class, I have two students, OB3 and I have OB4 also. You're getting my point now, Kanaya? Obviously, the values will be different, na? Right? This is like a single classroom and this is a different object. Yes, you can enter that. We have not applied any kind of check in that, obviously. We have not applied any kind of check, na? So that's fine. You can do that, na? So later on, we apply different checks, conditions that we put, na? Okay. There's no confusion in that. We can create as many as objects with different values. Okay. And Rafiq, we use this only to check the attributes of a class. Okay. For nothing else purpose, right? Okay. Got it? Perfect. Now we'll be talking about Python inheritance. When I say inherit, that means we want to get the properties of one class into another class. Okay. This is what I want to do. I want to get the, this is I use in order to get the properties of one class into another class. That means reusability we want. We want to reuse the things again and again. Now let's try to do it with the help, understand with the help of one example. Okay. Now let's suppose what I'm doing. I'm going to create a class, right? Okay. Let's suppose I create a class and the class name is parent. Okay. And parent class, let's suppose have a variable a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, and it has a variable sum is equal to a plus b. Or let me create method. Okay. Let me create method. I have a class parent. Let me define a method show self. This method is going to print me hello. I'll define another method which is run self. I'll say print by. Do you understand this thing? I'm creating a class child. I'll say define show one. That is my method name self. I'll say print good morning. I'll say define run one. I'll say self. I'll say print good evening. Is it okay? Do you understand this thing, everyone? I've created two classes. Is it okay? And two classes have different methods. Right. If I create an object O1 of a parent class and I'll say O1 dot show, will it print me hello, yes or no? For this parent class, I've created an object and I'm saying O1 dot show. Can you tell me what will be the output? Can you tell me what hello? Perfect. Very good. If I'll say O1 dot run, can you tell me what will be the output? Pi. Very good. If I'll say O1 dot show one, O1 dot show one, can you tell me, is it going to print good morning to me? No, it will give error. Very good, Madhu, right? Why? Because O1 is the object of parent class or child class. It is the object of parent class. So with that, I only be able to call parent class, right? It will give me error. If I want to create show one, I have to create an object for child class. Is it okay? Then I can call O2.show1. Make sense to everyone? Is it understandable? Okay. Now consider a scenario that what I want to do, I want to use these two methods in this class also. So one thing is I recreated. One thing is I recreated. But if I have to recreate it again and again, then so it's a wastage of time, na? So we are not using Java here, na, Rafiq, right? So if I need to inherit the properties of parent class into child, I have to do this syntax. Okay, Rafiq? If I'm doing that, I have to do what? In order to inherit the properties of parent class into this, I have to use this syntax. I need to use parentheses and I need to write the name of the class. With that means of saying, by means of saying that we are going to inherit properties of parent class into this means I'm going to inherit all the content of parent class into this. Do you understand this? Now, if I'm going to create this object of child class now, I'm calling show one. It will print me good morning. Agree with that, everyone? If I'll say O2 dot run one, Will it print me good evening? Yes or no? With the object of child class, it will print very good. Now I say o2 dot show method. With the object of child class, I'm calling the method of parent class. Will it print me hello? Yes, it will print me hello. Why? Because child class has now all the properties of parent class. And that is what we say. We have inherited the properties of one class into the another class. Make sense to everyone now? This means we have inherited the properties of one class into the another class. Right? I hope it is fine, easily understandable to everyone. But if I'll call o1 dot show1, then yes, then it will also work, na? That is so o1 is the object of my parent class, na? Right, Madhu? Acha, you're talking about show one. Show one. No, 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 no. Then it will not happen, na? O1 dot show one. No, it will not happen, na? Because show one is child class, na? We have inherited these methods here. We have not inherited these methods here, na? We have not done reverse. We have taken the properties of parent class into the child class, na? We have not done other way, na? Madhu, right? Parent does not have the property of child. Only, yes, only this has been inherited here. Okay, I hope it makes sense, right? Acha, now one more thing. What if I have another thing, I have a show method here also. Like now what I've done is I have a parent class, I have a child class. Now child class will have two show methods. Agree with that? Same name. Child, we have inherited the properties. The child will have two show methods. Is it okay? One is its own method, one is parent method. Now, if I create an object of child class and I'll say o3 dot show, can you tell me, is it going to print me good morning or is it going to print me hello? Is it going to print me good morning or is it going to print me hello? Okay. You don't ask me question, Madhu, you give me answer. You are asking me question. You give me answer. What is your opinion? Hello or good morning? Yes, Madhu. Others? Yes. Okay. Good morning. Yes. Why it is saying? Okay. No worries. It will say good morning. Why it is so? Because see, Madhu, it has two methods, right? We have inherited the properties. It have two methods, right? Now you tell me if you have your bike and you have your friend's bike, which one you will prefer to ride? Your bike, first of all, that you have, or your friend's bike? My bike. Similarly, this child method has two functions, one inherited and one its own. So this method will give the priority to its own method first, right? That is good morning. But what if you want to call to hello also? If you want to call to hello also, you do one thing, super dot show. Okay. What do? You do super dot show. Now inside this show method, I will be printing good morning and I will be calling to show method of parent class also, right? This is, we are calling the show method of parent class also, right? You're getting my point. Now, once I'm going to this call this, okay, it has given me error. Show why it is saying, okay, give me 1 second. I think there's my mistake. There's some mistake I'm doing. Yeah, you see. Now it is calling the show of parent method also, and it is printing its own also. You're understanding my point, everyone? In case you want to just call their own method, you just do this, right? If you want to call the parent method also with that, we use super keyword with this. Okay. Make sense to everyone? we call, we call soup with the help of super. Yes, super is a keyword, or you can say function also, right? Generally, it's a keyword that we use, but because it has parenthesis, so yes, you can call it a function also, right? Method. Okay, Rafiq. So super is a method. Okay, that keyword we call it in Java, but yeah, here it has come with parenthesis. So we call it as a method which is used to inherit the functions and properties of parent class also. Is it okay? I hope it is fine with everyone. Is it okay with all of you? Perfect. Now there is one more concept that we use here, that we use is the Python polymorphism. When I say polymorphism, poly means many and formalism means form. Okay, let's try to understand with the example. Suppose Dipanshu, let's suppose Dipanshu, you are friend with Madhu and Rafiq, right? Let's suppose you are friend with Madhu and Dipanshu, Rafiq. Is it okay, Dipanshu? Now let's suppose both are your friends and Madhu has given an exam and Madhu got 90 marks in that exam. And let's suppose Rafiq has also given the same exam, but Rafiq got 40 marks. Just consider the scenario. Don't take it very personally. I'm just taking it as a hypothetical situation, okay? And please don't feel bad, Rafiq, okay? This is just an hypothetical situation. Now, Dipanshu, you have two friends, Madhu and Rafiq. Let's suppose Madhu got 90 marks and Rafiq got 40 marks. Can you tell me, describe that when you are going to meet Madhu, how you are going to rate, and when you are going to meet Rafiq, how you are going to rate, Dipanshu? Will you please tell me? When you are going to meet Madhu? Anyone else can also tell me. If Dipanshu is friend with Madhu and Rafiq, Madhu got 90 marks and Rafiq got 40 marks, how Dipanshu is going to react with Madhu and Rafiq? Can you tell me? It's hard. No, it's not hard. It's very simple. Anyone else? Now you are thinking very emotionally, na? I want to understand it with a more practical situation. Na? Yes. Yes, very good, Kanina, right? When he is going to meet Madhu, he'll be very happy. Agree? And when he is going to meet Rafiq, he will be disappointed. Do you understand this, everyone? Now, in that, what is happening? There is same person, Dipanshu. There is the same person, Dipanshu, having different emotion with different people in different scenario. You're understanding my point? Same person has two different forms. One is happy, one disappointed. Do you understand? So polymorphism is the concept of having many forms. Do you understand? In programming, we refer it to as a same name but different uh, behavior. Same name but different behavior. You are getting my point? Do you understand? So that means what we are doing. Yes, yes, you can do this thing also, Dipanshu. I'm not saying that. It's just trying to, you please try to understand it with the more practical situation. I'm not talking emotionally. You can do anything, but you think about that. You are same person behaving differently in different situation. You are one person showing one emotion with other and different emotions with other. Same person. So you have many forms. Do you understand with that point? Is it okay with others to understand? Is it okay? Right? Yes. For that, I have one example for you guys because if I'll write it example, it will take some time. I'm just copying it from some reference. Is it okay? Right? Now you consider this example. we have a class and this is my constructor. There's one method move and there's another method move in the different class. Do you understand this? We can remove this, that's fine. Okay. We can remove this, that's fine. Okay. We have a car class having move method. We have a board class having move method. Here, that move method, same name, the function or method with same name, but different behavior in different classes, different situation, right? Here, move is using to print drive. Here, move is using to print sale. You're getting my point? And we have created an object for car and we have created an object for board. Now, when with car one, I'm going to call this move method, it will print drive. And when with the board, I'm going to call move method, it is going to print me sale. Do you understand my point? A method with the same name, a method with the same name, but different behavior in different classes means in different situation behave differently. That means it is used for some other purpose. Okay. Different class, same name, same method, but behaving differently in different situation, right? So whenever we have multiple classes with same method name and the same method is being used to do different tasks, then in that case we say it's polymorphism. Do you understand that? Then what we say? Yes, Rafiq, the classes are different now, the situations are also different now. When Dipanshu is meeting Madhu and Rafiq, maybe he's meeting one in the morning, one in the night, na? It's not about that. It's just about that how the person is reacting, many forms, right? Behaving differently in different situation. Behaving differently in different situation. Here it is behaving differently. Here it is behaving differently, right? So when the same name method we use in different classes for different purpose, we call it as polymorphism. Many forms. One person has many forms behaving differently in different scenarios. Is it okay? Understandable? Make sense to all of you, right? Perfect. So this is what we use the concept of class, object, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay, everyone, right? I hope with all these examples and this uh, code, you understood that that how this needs to be done and how we need to implement that, right? Okay, I'll give you a few more examples for your practice purpose so that you can work on that. Is it okay? Right, but I hope it makes sense to all of you. Now, there is one question which I've given it to you guys, that is to find the prime number. Do you remember that? Have you solved that question? What is a prime number? How you get to know? What is a prime number? Let's suppose you have a number 10. Is it a prime? Yes or no? Okay, I'm resolving here, no worries. No, how do you get to know? Because you need to check that if number 10 is divisible by a number 2 to 9. Agree with that? If this number 10 is divisible by any number from 2 to 9 or 2 to 10 also, na? Right? No worries, Taj. I am solving it here, right? I'm just asking you, Taj, right? If there is a 10 number, you need to divide that number with till 9, right? To check that whether number is divisible or not, right? Because one its own, it is divisible. If a number is not divisible by any other number, it's a prime number. Do you understand this thing, Taj? Like 10 is divisible by 2. So it is not a prime number. If I'll say 3, 3 is a prime number. Why? Because 3 is only divisible by 1 and 3 only, na? Their own factors. It is not divisible by any other factor. Then only we'll say, right? So let me define here a number. And I'm using a method here, input method, to take an input from the user. No, 1 is not a prime number, no? No. that we call generally it as a, we'll say a natural number also, no? Right? Okay. Yes. So this is function I'm using to take an input from user, and I'm putting here integer just for the purpose of typecasting. Why? Because if I don't do that, na, yes, Piyush, yes. Why? Yes, it is recorded. Okay, Sitesh. Because if I don't put integer, na, what is the point? The point is that this will be of a na, this will be of a character type. But you need a data of data type number. It comes in a string type, na. So this is the reason I'm putting here integer for the typecasting purpose. Is it okay? So when I take once I take a number, it will be in the number format. Okay. That is the reason I'm taking that. I hope it's fine, right? Now, what I need to do, if I have any number from the user, what I need to do, I need to check that first of all, that number should be, I need to check few of the things. I need to check that number should be greater than one, first of all, right? Then only we'll check now. If let's suppose a user has put it number one, I know very simply, right? That what input I need to print. Very simple, na? So the number should be greater than 1 in order to run a loop. For example, if a user put a number 10, I need to run a loop to divide that number from 2 to 9. And if it is divisible, I will say the number is not prime. You are getting my point? So I'm going to run a loop for I in range. You know from where I will run a range? I will run a loop. I will run a loop from 2 to whatever the number I am having, right? After divisible by 2, is it okay? 2 to the number also we can do. Okay, that's also fine. There can be a logic also, right? Because we'll be able to get to know whether it is divisible or not, right? Or we can simply do it till number minus 1 also, no? Right? We'll run a loop from 2 to whatever the number. If number is 10, we'll run a loop from 2 to 9 and we'll check that. And what we are going to check? We are going to check that if that number is divisible by that number. This is automatically read na when you will run this method, Taj. Okay. If this number is divisible by this, then what I need to do? If the number is divisible by I, how will get to know? If if it is divisible, then there is no remainder in that. Very simple, right? Then what I'm going to do? I'll simply print that number is not a prime number. And you know what will I do? I'll break. Very simple. You are getting my point, guys? I'll break from there. Is it okay? Do you understand this thing? Right? Or if this loop is not running, I will run else. What will I say? What will I do? I'll print. What will I print? I'll print the number is a prime number. You're getting my point? I'll say the number is prime number. Okay. So let me put a number 3 and let me check. 3 is a prime number. You're getting my point? Is it fine? Let me check 4. 4 is divisible. It is not a prime number. So very simple concept. I think number should be greater than 1 range. I divide the number from all the numbers from 2 to number minus 1. If that number is divisible, it is not prime. If it is not divisible, this will not break. This will come out of the loop and I'll just simply print the number is prime. I hope it is fine and easily understandable with all the participants present in the class. Is it okay now, Taj? I hope you understand that. Okay, perfect. So I'm sharing this file with all of you so that you can have a look on this session and then you can work on this also, right? I hope that with today's session, you clearly understood the topic that we wanted to do, and I hope it is fine and clearly understandable to everyone. So I'm sharing the link of the recording where you can get that, okay? And I'm sharing the feedback form with you guys also so that you can fill the feedback form. and then we can meet this. Is it okay? So that I hope that you understood and the topic is clear to all of you. I hope that uh, it's a good session that we have connected. So thank you so much for attending the class and this नहीं जा रहे हैं मैं एक मिनट बस एक जा रहे हैं मैं बस एक मिनट and I hope it is fine with all of you, right? So thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care, and we'll meet next week on Monday, right? So till then, you can do the practice of the sheets that we have done so far, the topics, and we'll meet again. Okay. So thank you so much. Bye bye. I hope it was a good session. So please fill the feedback and please do check your recordings so that you can revise your concepts. Okay. Bye bye. Take care. Thank you.